If you trade gold around this hour, the market's usually more active. There's actually a reason for that. Let's walk through it. Take a look at this. We have seen consistent growth, and that is just the beginning. Let's start close to home, the Asian session, which lines up with our actual daytime here. It's not dead. There's still activity. But for gold specifically, this tends to be the quietest of the major sessions. More range-bound, less prone to strong directional trends. If this is the only window your schedule allows, that's fine. It just changes what setups to look for. Gold doesn't trade on one single exchange with fixed hours. It moves almost around the clock, but its energy shifts, depending on who's actively trading. Trade during a quiet window, and price often just chops sideways. Trade during an active window, and price tends to move with reel-to-reel direction. For anyone based in Indonesia, this becomes a scheduling question too. Since the most active hours globally don't naturally line up with our daytime,
next stop, London. This is where a big chunk of daily gold volume actually originates. European banks and institutions are highly active here. This session often sets the tone for price direction. That carries into the rest of the day.
in WIB, London typically opens around 2 or 3 in the afternoon. And runs into the evening. If your schedule allows it, this is a solid window on its own. But we're not done yet. Then there's New York.
This session brings in U.S. institutional flow.
And gold tends to react strongly to U.S. economic data here. Interest rate decisions, inflation reports, employment numbers.
In WIB, New York trading kicks off, usually around 8 or 9 at night,
and runs into the early morning. On its own, it's active. But it's not even the best part yet. Here's the part that actually matters most. When London and New York overlap, roughly between 8 p.m. and midnight WIB, two major financial centers are active at the same time. That's usually when gold sees its highest volume of the entire day. Tightest spreads too. And the most decisive price movement of the entire day. Stronger trends. Clearer direction. Better follow through on setups that actually respect structure. If there's one window worth prioritizing, this is it.
Now, that doesn't mean trading during Indonesian daytime hours is off limits.
Plenty of setups still happen. But it's worth adjusting expectations. Ranges are often tighter, breakouts fail more often.
And major news from the US and Europe usually lands outside this window anyway.
If Asian hours are what your schedule allows, lean toward range-based approaches. A few things worth remembering before you build your schedule around this. First, high-impact news still matters more than the clock. Even during a normally quiet session, a surprise release can spike volatility fast. Check an economic calendar, regardless of what time you usually trade. Second, daylight saving time shifts the exact hours. London and New York both adjust their clocks at different points in the year. But Indonesia doesn't. So that overlap window can shift by about an hour, depending on the season. Worth double-checking rather than assuming it's fixed forever. Third, and maybe most important, your personal schedule matters too. The theoretically perfect window doesn't help much if it clashes with sleep or work, or everything else going on in your life. A slightly less optimal session, traded with focus. Usually beats the perfect session, traded half asleep. Let's wrap this up. So here's the summary. Let's wrap this up.
For traders based in Indonesia, the London-New York overlap tends to offer the best conditions. Roughly 8 p.m. to midnight WIB, the best conditions.
London alone is a solid backup. Asian hours aren't off limits, they just call for a different mindset. Timing won't fix a bad strategy, but it can make a good one feel a lot easier. If this helped you rethink when you actually sit down to trade, share it with a trading friend. Drop a comment. What time do you usually trade gold? Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.